How are you doing, people, gentlemen, women of all ages? This is the start. This is the start of the Xavi era. And I love it. I absolutely love it, dude. And now I finally got my new computer, new more stuff, and it's working nicely. And Barcelona are just playing better football. Of course, there's plenty of stuff that we still need yet to discuss because it's moving quickly, it's moving fast, and 100% there is going to be a lot of improvements that Xavi must make to this team. But we just need to get better. Hello, how are you? Let me know if everything's okay. Tenya Bumira says you are late, bro. I know I'm late, but today, my computer decided to just absolutely go full crazy and started updating on Windows 11. I don't know, guys, if your computers can get Windows 11, but mine just said update to Windows 11, and I stupidly pressed the update button, and it took way too longer than I anticipated. And yeah, fuck me, Windows 11, dude. It's just Windows 10. It's just Windows 10. so yeah, that's where we are right now. And I have to admit, this game for me caught me a little bit off guard because I didn't know exactly what to be looking for. I didn't know where to approach this game from initially because there was plenty of things that was gonna leave me a little bit how do you say it? It was gonna leave me a little bit. I was going to get way more questions than answers. That's basically how I was thinking to this game. I think that the very first half, like many of you are saying here, and now I got two monitors, right? So that's why I'm looking at you guys here, and then if I go like this, I'm looking at the chat, right? So let me read it right now. And we need an attacker, 0 chance for Haaland, Sam, literally 0. Okay, we're talking about Haaland, we're talking about the Yemi, we're talking about signings, but I don't want to talk about signings right now. There's no point in talking about signings right now. But I want to start off by saying, like, when we talk about the lineup, that's the first thing that we always do. And I liked it. Of course, I would have liked to see other names, but there are plenty of players injured right now, and I think that we need to continue to talk about how Xavi gets them back into the squad and whether he can get the best versions out of players like Ansu Fati and Ousmane Dembele. I think that today, the introduction of, first of all, Elias was good, but I was much more surprised by Abde in the second half. I think that Elias benefited of an overall better performance when it comes to the team's pressure ability from the front foot, just always being there to win the ball back. In the first half, they were very intense, they were very dynamic. They were going out with a point to prove, and I think that is where you can really suggest that Barcelona needed to do a lot of improving because ball recovery was one of the main issues that we had. And I think that although this game showed that Barcelona still needs work to do, because the first half we very much did that, we're on the front foot, but then the second one we're lacking a little bit more. And Espanyol were all over the pitch, honestly. When we really are talking about this game, Barcelona didn't dominate it. They had one half, and then Espanyol dominated the other one. It was very balanced. That's how I can tell you. It's very balanced. Espanyol were very unlucky not to score a goal. I think that Raúl de Tomás was probably the best player on the field today, alongside Busquets and Memphis Depay. I think that Raúl de Tomás really does deserve a spot in the podium for today's game. Let me know who do you think are going to be the front three players that you, the top three players that you want to put out here. But for me, are certainly Raúl de Tomás, Busquets, and Memphis Depay. I think that this circulation of the ball that Xavi instilled from the very first minute was something that I want to see whether it's just that he came introduced and it's a honeymoon period and players want to work for the manager now, which is a little bit different. But I also want to check, though, if it's something that it would just be for now or he can consistently get this. Because we do need this sort of consistent pressure and dynamism from the first few minutes. And I'm not too sure right now what is it? What sort of version are we seeing? Because certainly with these players, and I'm talking about those Busquets and the latter, like the older ones, like Piqué and Jordi Alba. I'm not too sure whether it's gonna be something that we're gonna be seeing every single time. And Duca Moyuing says, I think Mingueza should not be playing for the first team. He has passion and energy, but extremely poor with intelligence. Tactical awareness, he's extremely poor. I think tactical awareness is the thing that Xavi will particularly get this team far better for. Like, he will improve the understanding of these players because he's such an intelligent professional, not even a player, because I know there's a player still in there, and that's probably one of the key things that I like from the managers we had appointed in the past, like Pep Guardiola, Cruyff, Reynolds, Michaels, and now Xavi. The fact that they both have played in a system like this as a players, and now they're teaching that. They're teaching from their main experience, and I like that from Xavi. So hopefully that experience he's able to translate and give it back to our squad. That is where I think that someone like Dani Alves and his appointment as an extra player could also help us out. But I don't know. We still have to wait and see how will this translate. Animal CSBR says, honestly, I think Depay is a very good player, but he doesn't fit to Barca. He's not a good Barca winger, but also not a striker. They should sell him in the summer. I'm a little bit nervous about Memphis Depay, like you say there, Animal, because when we talk about signings that Koeman made, for instance, literally Memphis Depay was one of them. But I think that if Xavi can test Memphis out and see how he can get something out of him, get a tune out of him, I think that's potentially where we can see a good version of him. I really do think that there's a player in Memphis Depay, and I will bet that indeed there's a player in him and that Xavi will get him out. I really do like Memphis Depay. I think he can work as a center forward, but to be as important and to be as clinical, I think that's the word, to be as clinical and as much of a goal scorer as he's currently for the Netherlands, because just remember, Memphis Depay is the top goal scorer for the UEFA qualifiers into the World Cup of Qatar 2022. He has scored 12 goals, equal to Harry Kane. So to get that Memphis Depay, I think that we need wingers. We need wingers. We saw today how Memphis Depay benefited a lot from Abde. I think on the other side, Gavi played right now even right winger, but I really, really don't think that Gavi should play there. I think that Gavi is much better suited to an extra midfielder playing either behind a front two or whatnot, but he can go there. He can go there and midfield of Frankie de Jong, Riqui Puig, Pedri, Gavi. No matter the combination, I think it will do good in a good system. But I want to see wingers. I think that Xavi needs wingers. I think that we need to see a proper Ousmane Dembele on the right wing, a proper Ansu Fati on the left wing. We need to constantly try out for these wingers and see how they can fit, because you know what's the thing, Animal? The thing is that Memphis Depay right now, it's our best player. We or not best player per se, but the most game-changing. And if we want to rely on winning games, to win games, you need to score goals. Memphis Depay has to be at the core of it all. Him and Ansu Fati, but Ansu Fati is getting injured quite a lot. So we do need some player with consistency, and Memphis Depay can deliver us in that. What else? Sign a striker and a center back. We're also helpless on the right wing without Dest. On the right without Dest. Emerson is clear. Mingueza, yep, rip. Of course they're different. Mingueza is a center back converted to a right back, and Emerson is just a fullback. So of course they're gonna be different. Nikhil Bakshar said, I believe in Windows 10 supremacy. Dude, Windows 11 is so weird. Like, I just literally have it. I need to test it out because I'm with you guys right now on stream. But already all the sound effects are just way too weird. Like, they don't sound normal at all. Windows did a complete remaster of the sounds, and it's just so weird. Subi Kapuria says, the game wasn't tiki-taka, but more of positional play. The formation was interesting. There was a fluidity in the movements. Fati and Dembele on the wings will perfectly fit this style. It's risky, but rewarding. I think that's a good way of describing it, actually. And I like the way that you're commenting on it right now. Because the thing is that this style, in my opinion, is... I don't know. If we're talking about who is more similar to... I think right now it's very similar to Luis Enrique at Spain. Like when we take a look at Spain of Luis Enrique's Spain, it's very similar to what Xavi is doing here. There's a lot of positional play, a lot of real quick changes. Most of the time, Barcelona get the ball to the end of the field because before, for instance, with Koeman, we struggled a lot in trying to actually make a chance and strike it across the net. But now we can make that happen. Not too many crosses. We tuck down, try to open the two defensive lines that the opposition team are going to be putting in front of us. And we get there. But we're lacking the clinical instinct that Spain, for instance, lacked in the UEFA Nations League or recently in the qualifiers. We're lacking that. We are going to be winning, I think, 1-0 games, 2-0 games. We do need Ansu Fati because he's, for instance, for me right now, our most prolific goal scorer is Ansu Fati. And he even hasn't hit double figures in any season yet. So that tells you quite a lot of where we are right now. But we need to be more clinical. And I think that's a place where we have to improve. Our movement was way better. What I really, really liked was the circulation of the ball was way faster. Like, we got it from Ter Stegen. Ter Stegen passed it to one of their center backs, be it Eddie Garcia, for instance. And then the ball would circulate from Jordi Alba to Frankie de Jong, to the midfield, to the front line, to the winger, to Gavi, to Abde. And it was way faster. The transitional play from our own half to their half was way quicker. And once we got to the final stages, when we had the ball on the wings, we either went for the one-on-one, which is what you want to see, or you pass it back and restart the game again to find spaces for the middle. No spaces for the middle, go back into the wings, and you constantly do that interchange. There was none of this crossing. Because once you're crossing, you're letting the ball fall into a 50-50. You either go for a challenge where just simply one of your other players is going to try and win it, or the opposition are going to get to it. So you tend to lose possession quite easily, and that's why we had a lot of counterattacks. That's a thing that Koeman never really understand. The opposition cannot counterattack if you have the ball, and I think that's a thing that Barcelona did far better today with Xavi. I think that Xavi set up this team correctly, and we've seen it how he always wants to overload, for instance, certain areas of the pitch. We had almost a back three in certain instances, and it was mostly Mingueza attacking in back or either Busquets dropping in between the two defenders. That's a place where we were improving, and I just want to see how Xavi molds this team, because I do think that Xavi's ideal side, and you're going to be honestly surprised about what I'm going to say, I think that Xavi's best team probably is a back three, has a back three somewhere in there, and I wouldn't be surprised to see it potentially by the end of the season at least once. I think he's going to continue playing right now how we're playing with a 4-3-3. It was also very weird how Barcelona started right from the get-go with a 4-2-3-1. We had a 4-2-3-1, Busquets and Frankie de Jong, the two holding midfielders, very similar to what Koeman did. But the difference was that then the front three in front of them, behind Memphis as well, were Gavi, Elias, and Nico Gonzalez. And they were constantly trying to pressure and recover the ball further up the field. It gave Barcelona much more capacity to try and win it back. And that's a point, that's a place where we really lacked before. And hopefully we can improve on that. Okay, so what else do you have? Let's say what Matheus Mineiro is saying here. Buga, please talk about Eddie Garcia. He's been our best defender in my opinion. Ever since he got sent off in the UCL, he's picked up his errors and has been great. Yeah, I think he has really, really improved since the time I'd call him a fraud, which wasn't one of my particularly brightest moments. I have to agree that once we really do talk about position and understanding of the game, and when the team is working correctly, Eddie Garcia is going to shine. Eddie Garcia is going to shine because he may not be the most physical, but he has the vision and tactical awareness to set up his position, to set up himself in the good positions for interceptions and clearances. That is what we want from Eddie Garcia defending-wise. But then building from the back as well, he's always going to be key. And I think that, like you said there, Matthew, after the red card in the UCL in Benfica, he's just really been improving. So I'm just really happy for him because he's a player that I think he can be as important as Ansu Fati in the front line, as Pedri in the midfield. Eric Garcia can just be the next kind of part in that group of youngsters. Cam Offline says, there were moments where intensity and concentration dipped. I think there is a lack of fitness in this team, which I'm sure Xavi has noticed and will improve. Yes, of course. I think that is also one of the things that initially you can take a look at. And we are lacking there. We are not in a physical position to withstand a full 90 minutes game at this level. And I think that is where Xavi is going to be improving. Sam says, Frankie looked lost under Koeman. It seems like Xavi has given him a role and taught him how to score. I think that Frank today, and here's another thing, I think that Frankie was the main key pillar from what Xavi is going to try and do. Because today in the midfield, and one of the reasons why the circulation of that ball was very, very fast, how I mentioned from the defense, the front line, is the fact that we play a lot of one-touch passes. And that is something that we didn't have before. I like the attitude. There are plenty of things to improve, of course. There are many. But the one-touch passes is one thing that you can clearly see from Barcelona that Xavi has told them. When you can, try it. When you can, do a one-touch pass. You have to try and do it. And Frankie de Jong was all over that, and I really, really liked it. Leon Forrester says, we have to win against Benfica because last game is against Bayern. Of course we have to win against Benfica. We have to go out there on Wednesday, Tuesday. I have absolutely no idea when the game is at this stage. Let me check it out. The game is on Tuesday. Of course we have to go out there and try and win. We have no other opportunity. Because Bayern in the Allianz Arena. That's funny. Intranocte says, how did Coutinho save us, Lamau? Yeah, somebody says Coutinho saved us. But I don't know. We need to win Tuesday. Benfica game, any thoughts? Hey, Buga, what's your views on Sterling to Barca rumor? I'll talk about it later. De Jong is too important to us. He can't go anywhere. Dude, when I read that rumor that De Jong could be up in the transfer window, it made no sense. Fadi, Braithwaite, Dembele up front. Braithwaite attacks the box. Styles more of Man City, who's David Silva, and De Bruyne created nothing. The young Nico, Pedri, Gavi can do that. For Ter Stegen must improve his goalkeeping technique. Christian Gomez says, we just need games. I could see the shape and the five in front just needs more chemistry. Give it time. I of course believe that as well. Christian Gomez, I'm not hating, but Ter Stegen is clearly not in form. He definitely wasn't bad today, but something seems off with him. MC Barca, in desperate moments of the game, he must not show any sign of opposition teams may equalize. Barcelona playing much better, says Fergutinius Rosales. Sterling will fit Xavi's plans, says Timon, and Timon 100%. I think that right now what Barcelona are lacking are direct wingers. And we're lacking that for a long time. Like, we're lacking that since the Valverde ages. With Valverde, we only had one winger. And that was Ousmane Dembele. That was it. Then we got Malcolm, and I was like, okay, we're going somewhere. But not nearly, he was not played enough because we had to slot Griezmann there somewhere who isn't a natural winger. When you take a look at Barcelona's of old, David Villa, Pedro, even Samuel Eto'o when he played for the wings, you had direct players who attack the box. And right now we don't have that. Before Antoine Griezmann, these players like Antoine Griezmann, they cut in deep, like Coutinho. They cut in deep. They're not as direct, and I think that is where we needed these wingers. And I think that Ousmane Dembele and Ansu Fati will benefit quite good, and Sterling particularly. He's a very direct opposition, and if Sterling is off the mark, which even though today I read that Sterling has already told Barcelona that has told Manchester City that he would like to leave for Barcelona on a loan move. I'm not too sure how realistic is that, but apparently that's the news right now. I think he would fit in because he's direct, he's fast, he dribbles, he likes to take on one-on-ones, and all of these things, they're very, very important for a winger. They really, really are. Christian Gomez, I think competition would bring out Ter Stegen. We know and rate him highly. Sterling isn't bad. City fans are hating him because he plays bad as center forward when he's a winger. Yeah, that's literally what I wanted to say, Sam. Literally. MC Barça, we are heading to the UCL and we're like this scoring penalties in the Liga. By the way, Memphis keep it up with the diving. Ryan Joseph says that he kicked ball out of player because he was not there. What score? What? I have no idea what you're talking about. Buga, let's talk about Nico. This kid is the most impressive player for me this season. Any thoughts on why? Yeah, I'm also very impressed by Nico because Nico is a different sort of footballer. He's not Gavi, he's not Pedri, he's just something else completely. And I think that Nico is getting overlooked, similar way to how Busquets was overlooked when Xavi and Iniesta were the two in front of him. And I think he's gonna be overlooked when we talk about Pedri and Gavi. But Nico Gonzalez is special. Nico Gonzalez just grabs the ball and slows the tempo down of the game, puts the right has the vision to put in the right passes. But what I really like about him, the thing that for me makes him just different, is that he's always there to be an outlet for the opposition, for his teammates. Sorry, he's always there, and I like that. We need players like that, more of them, because most of the time, we always lack that movement. We really like that movement, and that's another part where there's a player that surprisingly none of you have mentioned today, and I'm quite surprised. 254 Barcelona fans, and no one has mentioned Riqui Puig. Riqui Puig today also, he was good. Him and Coutinho in the second half, although the team wasn't, of course, at the top, they were doing good. They were good, and they had that movement. They were doing what Nico did in the first half. That was always trying to be an outlet for an opposition, for the teammate. And that's what I like. I really, really like that. Because when we're really talking about the future and when we're talking about what's going to take Barcelona to the next level, the thing that is distinct between Guardiola sides and the rest, or the best Luis Enrique sides, and what I really what I really envy from teams like Bayern Munich and Liverpool right now, is the mobility of our players to constantly be tracking. And not, Liverpool, for instance, does it differently because they move to pressure the opposition, but Bayern, they move to find spaces so that they can get the ball quicker. And that is why Nagelsmann is such a top coach, because he has been able to identify that as one of the most important things in the game. They're always moving. When you take a look at a Bayern game, don't watch the ball. Watch the players without it, around it. They're always moving, seeking and finding pockets of space. And Barcelona had that in them, but they've lost it in the recent years. And once we can find that movement back, which we already are seeing a little bit from Coutinho, Riqui Puig, Nico Gonzalez, particularly like I mentioned, that is where we're going to be taking our game to the next level. What else? Puig needs more game time to shake off the rust. If a good offer comes in for the young, would you consider it? Absolutely not. I don't think he was. We need a good striker. Was good when he went to the midfield. Before that, not so much. Yeah, that's what I mean. When Riqui Puig and Coutinho were in the midfield at the end of the game, that is where I was like, okay, there's something here. That those simple changes, like simply putting Coutinho as a midfielder, changes so many things. And I want to see where Coutinho is slotted by Xavi and how he fits in this player, because Coutinho is very interesting, because from the offset, you're not too sure whether he's a Barcelona player or not. He can certainly not play on the wings. So as a midfielder, I think is where he's at. But I want to see how later on, when we talk about the big game up, I want to see what Xavi does. I really want to see what Xavi does. And just so you know, guys, right now Xavi has come out in the press conference and said that news about Agüero is not true. I do not have that information. I have talked to him and he's okay. So that news from Gerard Romero saying that Kun Agüero was going to retire, that's fake news. So forget about that. And also, I like how Xavi says this here. We're not in the best emotional state. We're still lacking confidence. And I think that is where we have to improve. We need to be better. And you know what? if you excuse me, guys, I'm gonna be reading now. Just let's read the best, most important quotes from Xavi's press conference right now. Xavi says, "What I liked the most was the attitude. Of course, there are many things to improve. In fact, there are many. Of course. The audience have been wonderful. And I haven't been to the Camp Nou in almost 6 years, and the atmosphere has changed a lot. I love it. Xavi, Ilias, and Abde have played great games. They are talents, and it's important to have this generation of footballers who helped us a lot." From those two, who do you like the performance, guys? Abde or Ilias? Let me know. Let me know. Who do you think was the better, Ilias or Abde? Both Spanish-born Moroccans, and they're just improving quite a bit. They can hopefully become settled players then for the future, because I think we do need these sort of wingers. Xavi, at the end of the match, we lack things to dominate the game, of course. We're not in the best situation. Espanyol has given us a lot of problems in the last minutes, but in general, it was a deserved victory and it was a great joy. It was close, guys. It was very close. Like, we could have lost the game. We could have conceded in the last few minutes, honestly. Xavi, we have to generate more chances. People say Abde, clear. Abde was on fire. And some guy just demure. I think Abde for me also surprised. What was for me, Abde was clearly better than Ilias today. I think Ilias started good, but you can just tell that Abde is older. Like, you can just tell that Abde has way more minutes on his back. And I think that is the place where we're gonna be really seeing this player develop. I think left wing, right wing, that's where we are gonna be seeing Abde way more this season. And now, of course, then Dembele is injured, and well, Ansu as well. Unfortunately, that is where we're going to be. Okay, then Xavi, the penalty. They told me it's a penalty. I haven't seen the play. I've seen it live. I would have whistled for it. When I see it again, as they will show it 100 times, I'll look at it. The last minutes is not a physical problem. It's interpretation of the game. Okay, that's interesting. So Xavi here, he's being asked about the last few minutes. And Xavi says, it's not a physical problem, it's an interpretation of the game. I'm not too sure how I feel about that, but that's probably just me lacking the tactical nonsense to be a football manager at this level. Because, of course, initially I would just think that, yeah, it's a physical problem, you know, because we are not as prepared to withstand 90 minutes. But here Xavi says the opposite. He says it's an interpretation of the game, so perhaps he wants to set up the team better, more substitutes to help control the game. I'm not too sure. I'm going to have to look at it. What do you guys think Xavi means by that? Xavi says, we are building, but getting the 3 points in Derby gives us a lot of satisfaction. We have suffered. We dominated the game 70 or 75 minutes. We must improve even if the result is tight. We should have taken advantage when they started to attack more. Agüero, I don't know anything about Kun. I talked to him. He's coming. We have to wait. I don't have information that came out today. The fans have to be happy and proud of the team because we have emptied ourselves, but obviously we still have to improve. Okay, I like that. Overall, swift, nice press conference. I love this comment. Lloyd Bryan, great game, but low. The spirit of Koeman really appeared in the second half. I like that. I dig that comment. I really do. Top comment right there. Yeah, overall, guys, I was happy with it. This performance tells us quite a lot about how Xavi is going to be as a manager. He's always going to be on point. He's going to be trying to get the best things out of players. And I wouldn't necessarily just forget completely that we're in a process. Like, this is going to take time, guys. This is going to take time. This is not going to be fast. This is not going to be a quick turnaround because, one, we got players injured. Like, we don't have a full squad. Two, they're very, very young. And three, we don't have the money to invest in this team. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3 seasons, at least in my opinion, to get back sort of where we need to be. So I wouldn't be rushing ourselves to get there. I just would really look at it like a fun little project and see how we continue to improve in it. At least we're not gonna be as bad as before. I think that is where where Xavi's gonna be improving quite a bit. So I'm happy with it, guys. I'm happy with it. How did you see this game? Who agrees with me, says MC Barça, that 2019 was Barcelona's best season until corner taken quickly? Guys, we struck fear into Europe's best team if you agree with me. I think that's the best last season from Barca. Of course, like literally we were until corner taken quickly. Or until Anfield. Until the game in Anfield, we had a pretty good season. And Duca Moiwenye says, I think the mental part of our game needs to be sorted out. You can see a degree of unrest and indecisiveness, especially when we're pressed towards the end of the game. Yeah, I think that's a very good point from you and Duca. That's very smart of you, actually. Thanks for pointing that out. I, of course, think that is where we need to improve a lot. And that is what Xavi meant a lot of the time, but by we need to improve in our confidence. I think that is where we need to improve, particularly the same as well. We are falling by the wayside when it comes to our mentality. Barcelona are looked at it like a weaker team now, and we do not instill the same sort of fear as MC Barca said before in 2019. Sorry, I of course do want that to return, but that comes with confidence. And these players, especially because they're young, they're gonna be feeling themselves with this confidence very, very soon. But we need to start winning those big games, and that will only come with consistency that I hope that Xavi will bring back. And here I have some breaking news. Apparently, Manchester United have reportedly sacked manager Ole Gunnar Solskjaer after their 4-1 defeat to Watford. I mean, today I woke up and I saw Watford beating Man U 2-1, and I was like, wow. Some things in football never change. Even though you get Cristiano Ronaldo, things never change. I don't know. Solskjaer, but who? I have no idea. Like, Manchester United are in such a tough spot. Who are worse right now, guys? Leave in the comments down below. Barcelona or Manchester United? Let me know. Who is worse right now? Who is worse right now? Matteo Alemani says, Matteo Alemani mentioned that Dembele is happy with the arrival of Xavi. That's good news. That's good news. Xavi, we have an extraordinary generation of young players. Doing it the way that they have done is magnificent. They have a lot of talent that is way positive for the club. This Barca can fight for all titles, whatnot. Nobody tells me no. We are Barca, and although we have to improve, we believe in it. In general, I am quite satisfied. I'm satisfied with this team also. I'm really, really satisfied with what we saw today, because the things that on paper, there's plenty of room to improve, but we're not that bad. Like, we're not that far away, in my opinion. We really aren't that far away. We really are not far away. Dude, I love how Abdes, like, first name is, well, last name, or I don't know how you do it in Morocco, so it may change. But you know the, like, it's Abdes, so E said ABDE. And if you play games, you know that E said is just basically easy. Like, easy game, you know? And I love how that's his name. It's just Ease. I love that. I love that. I love that. I really, really do. GGEC. I'm going to do a post of that right now. On Twitter. I like Abde. I really do. I think that Abde will be a special player for us. I really, really do like him quite a lot. I think these players have the personality in them to shine. You know what I mean? Like, most of the time, you do need them to rise up to the occasion. And I think he has the physicality. I think he has the height. I think he has the technique, the speed to be a great winger. But we should be very, very, once again, fair to all of these players. Because last time that we had a generation like this, we had those Munir and Sandros that they never even got never even got a point of view. United has a better squad. Man U, I guess, because they have starting world class player, but we don't have any of those at the moment. Them losing to Watford is sad. You think Xavi came from all sad to all sad, guys? Dude, that's the worst ever joke I've ever heard. How do you feel about Xavi going to the Allianz Arena? If we need confidence, then this isn't the best thing to experience. I have no problem with it, honestly. I think it will be a good test to see how Xavi reacts to that. I really do like that. But I wouldn't be expecting quite a lot. Once again, Fabrizio Romano now says, Manchester United board have decided to fire Ole Gunnar Solskjaer after 5 hours internal talk. Confirmed, mutual agreement to part ways now considered. Once Joe Glazer have approved the decision, it will be confirmed and announced by Man United. Damn. Okay. No more Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Interesting. Damn, sorry, animal. Okay, now guys, 35 minutes in. I don't know if you want me to answer anything else. Of course, like this live and share with your friends. I think we are doing something quite special here, so expect us to continue improving both our live streams and, of course, the game, which is the most important thing. This is probably Barca's best game all season. They were bad in the later stages of the game. Though, says OG90. We need a striker and defender, says Vicky Kurusai. Yamete Kudasai. I don't know what your last name reminds me of that. Lol. Barca always gives me, dude. I think we need to all go to therapy because of Barca. Honestly, like there's so much in play whenever Barcelona are playing. You know, it's just honestly quite annoying. It honestly really is. Goulet Luke says, do you hear about the scandals revealed by a journalist called Romain? Can't remember the second name, but he certainly made some serious claims. What? What claims, Goulet Luke? You mean Gerard Romero or Romain? Because there's a guy called Romain. He's like a French. Romain Molina, I think it is. Yeah, right? I think that's the name. Romain Molina. He claimed a lot of stuff. I'm really reading now. Okay, dude, Kule Luke, you are on top of something. Like I wanna read this shit now. Okay, I'm gonna read this now. I'm gonna really read this shit. Kinda interesting. Okay, I'll take a look at it. Fotzonara today says Inter Nocte. I think Allo was really good, but I want to see more of Balde. I want Balde. 87-4 says, Buga, do you think Peru can qualify for the World? Don't even get me started. Like, if we beat Colombia, today I was talking with my uncle during lunch about this, and we came to the agreement that if Peru can beat Colombia, we can go to the World Cup. But we need to beat Colombia, and we need to beat Colombia. We need to win one of the two games that are away from home, either Colombia or Uruguay, which are both pretty tough. But if we can beat Colombia right now, which they are down, if we can beat Colombia, then Peru can go to the World Cup. But well, anyhow, guys, that's where I'm going to leave you. Hopefully you have enjoyed the first game in return of Xavi. Share it with your friends, like it. And once again, say subscribe to the channel because we're going to be uploading quite a lot of videos now. So yeah, that's where we are right now. And also, I'm a freelancer. So if there's any of you guys out there who need stuff, give me a call. Look at me just spreading my business card all over the internet. But anyhow, yeah, that's gonna be it for right now. It was great. I love this new setup with a PC that I have now. It's awesome. So see you in the next one.